Hello, I'm Mimi, and in the last 12 months, my online business generated a little over 90,000 Australian dollars in revenue, but I took home $66,000. So where did the rest of that money go? Let's break down how the fees work for my three main income platforms: YouTube, Patreon, and Etsy. This video is sponsored by Skillshare, but more on that later. YouTube probably has the simplest payment structure, so let's start there. I don't pay any upfront costs to join YouTube or to post any of my videos, so it's free for me to use, which is great and makes it a really low-risk platform as a small business. I post videos that are free to watch, and they earn the platform money through the ads that are shown on them, and that money gets split between myself and YouTube. They give the creator 55% of the revenue and they keep 45%. So technically, I don't pay any outright fees to earn money on YouTube, which is amazing for a small creator, but I do have to split the revenue from the advertising that plays on my videos. From a total revenue from advertising of $33,509 in the past year, I earned $18,430 of that with my 55% cut, and YouTube earned about $15,079. I like the YouTube payment system because there aren't any upfront costs. I can provide free videos for my community and still get paid for them, and I don't have to organize any of the advertising, which is a pretty big pro. They do take a large cut and it takes a long time to start earning, but overall I think it's an amazing platform for creators. So the next platform that I earn through is Patreon. Just like YouTube, I don't have to pay any upfront fees to start a Patreon, which is great, but they do take a percentage of the earnings, and I also have to pay a fee for them to process the payments. I use their Pro plan, which means that they take 8% of the income I earn on Patreon for me to use their services as a platform. Then I pay 3% on every payment I receive over $3, which is all payments for me, plus 30 cents per transaction. And then I also pay 2.5% as a currency conversion fee on all payments that are made in a currency other than Australian dollars, which is probably most of the payments for my account. So the overall percentage that I pay in fees will vary a little bit month to month because it depends on how many of my patrons paid in a different currency and what tiers those patrons were in. Patreon is really good at laying out the fees really simply on the earnings page though, so I can see that in June there were $3,927 in attempted charges made. $144 of those payments were declined. I didn't need to make any refunds. There were $305 in payment fees and $303 in platform fees. So the payment fees for me were actually really similar to the platform fee and work out to be about 8% as well, which means that in total, for June at least, I paid about 16% of my total earnings to Patreon for the use of their platform and for them to process all of the payments for me. In the last 12 months, my Patreon generated $37,502. I took home $31,402, which is about 84%, and they took the other 16%, which was $6,100. I think it's quite reasonable that I get to keep such a large majority of the income because I make the majority of the product, which is the content that I provide there, but the service that Patreon provides me of allowing me to host a membership platform where I can share different types of content on a monthly subscription is super valuable to me and something that I wouldn't be able to do on my own. Overall, I think that Patreon's payment system is great because it's free to get started, so there's no financial risk as a small creator, and I take home a really large percentage of the earnings. If you're wanting to start your own creative business or career, then I want to quickly share how today's sponsor can help you with that, which is Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with lots of lovely classes for creative people like us to help us with our art skills, business skills, and creativity. I really enjoyed this class by Brooke Glaser called Make a Living as an Artist: Strategies for Crafting Your Creative Business, because it's a great overall guide for making money as an artist. She takes us through getting clear on what we want our businesses to look like and then how to pair that with different ways artists can make money. You can watch this class today even if you're new to Skillshare, because the first 1,000 people to use the link in my description will get an entire 1-month free trial of Skillshare. It's a great way to invest in yourself, and to help you get the maximum benefit, I've personally curated a list of classes that I've watched and think are really helpful. If you're wanting to create more art, then I thought that these classes are really great to help you with that through different mediums or challenges. If you're wanting to learn digital art skills, then these classes are a great place to start. And if you're wanting to build your art income, then I thought that these classes had some really great foundations. Thanks so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to the fees. So my third platform is Etsy, and like the other two platforms, there's no major upfront cost in setting up an Etsy shop or a monthly subscription fee to pay, but you will be paying a portion of your earnings to the platform. Etsy charges a listing fee to list an item for sale on the platform, which is 20 cents US. You pay this fee when you first list an item, and if you're selling multiple of the same item like a digital brush pack, then you pay that 20 cents every time you make a sale to relist that item on Etsy. Then there's a transaction fee for Etsy to process the whole transaction of an order, which is 6.5% of the item price plus any delivery. There's also a payment processing fee, which apparently varies depending on the location of your bank account. For me, it's 3% of the order plus 25 cents for domestic orders, and 4% of the order plus 25 cents for international orders. There may also be taxes that need to be paid on sales, which I assume depends on where you're based as well. So in the last 12 months, my Etsy shop generated 19,888 Australian dollars in revenue. I took home $16,651, which, just like Patreon, is about 84%. And Etsy took the other 16% of $3,324. Just like Patreon and YouTube, Etsy is providing me a service that I wouldn't really want to try and do on my own, so I expect to pay to use that service. It's an easy place for me to list products for sale, it processes payments for me, it automatically deals with taxes for all of the relevant countries, which I wouldn't even know how to begin with if I had to do that on my own, and it also brings some traffic to my products because it's a marketplace platform. So it's interesting to see that all of my main platforms are free to set up and run on a percentage fee structure. I've considered moving to platforms that mostly charge a set fee like Shopify instead of Etsy, but haven't made the jump just yet. I'd be really curious to know about your experiences in the comments, like how these platform fees compare to yours, or how they compare to creators who sell physical products at markets where you're paying for a store. So that's how my platform fees are broken down. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful, and give it a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.